Hi, my name is Elvin Tan. Thanks for watching the episode of APTV. Today I got Elvin Tan, Elvin Tan Design. Elvin started a business about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And in my humble opinion, one of the preeminent design firms, architecture design firms in Melbourne, focused on retail. Elvin talks to us about the changes from gas to electricity, the changes in designs, concepts, budgets, forecasts, cost management, and just what's happening. Elvin sees it first, deals with a lot of business owners, and really harnesses their ideas into a plan. Most interesting, Elvin's wearing mint green sneakers today. Now, I'm not sure why mint green today, but hopefully throughout the interview we'll find out this is a fresh, clean. What's mint green mean? Money.
Oh, well, kind of,
it's a color
I
of
like
money.
something fresh, I think, bright, yeah.
I take that as a compliment, it's green.
Yeah.
If you're wearing red today, it'd be a little bit like, oh man, I'm not sure what mood you're in. Every time I see Elvin, he's wearing different color sneakers, which is why we get along so well.
Yeah.
Elvin, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you. Cool.
So Elvin, how'd you end up in Australia running one of the best boutique architecture firms in Melbourne?
Yeah, so I grew up in Malaysia, studied architecture in Curtin University, and decided, I think, just kind of, try Melbourne out. I think I got accepted in Masters of Architecture in RMIT. So decided to just come here, and then, after I graduate, never really looked back. I love Australia, love Melbourne.
Did you have family here when you came here?
No. Just came alone. I remember, I fell in love with the city, really enjoyed Melbourne. I think I'm quite lucky. I got my first job the day of my graduation. So yeah, really, it's quite, everything kind of just aligned. I think decided not to stay, decided not to leave. I think I stay, and
And where was your first job?
It's an international firm called HBA, Hirsch-Bettner. So they do mainly hotels around the world. That's I kind of really, because I'm an architect, that job kind of gave me opportunity to really fall in love with interior job. Yeah, that's where my love in hospitality started.
So you now run your own firm called Elvin Tan Architects.
Yes.
You have a staff of 15.
Yes.
But it wasn't always like that. When did you start your business?
I started my business 6-ish to 7 years ago.
2017, 2018.
Yeah, about that. I think, I worked in a big firm, then changed to a smaller firm and a bigger firm again. Learned a lot. That time I got my architectural registration, decided, there's a lot kind of market out there that is missing, I suppose, lots of kind of small businesses, they have big dreams. I think, that's where we feel like there's a market that we can help them to bring their business to the next level, take a leap of faith and, decide to come out and do my own. That time I have someone approached me to do a burger store in Chapel Street, and my ex-boss started his own thing, so he had a couple projects in China he need my help with. Decided, I'm just gonna see how it goes. Then, 7 years later, it's growing really well. So I worked from home for about 6 months. My business partner Shirley joined in after her maternity leave. She came in joining as a part-time to help me out. I think after a year, grown to 3. Then we started to move from home to a small office in Docklands, and it's keep on growing ever since.
What was the biggest challenge about starting your own business?
It's a very good question for a designer. I think lots to learn. I think I'm still learning every day. I was so focused on design. I think sometimes what kind of makes, throughout these 7 years, what I really learned is that in hospitality and retail, commercial reality is equally important as design, really. I think, sometimes, as designer, we love designing something beautiful. That's what our job is. But I think sometimes we have to kind of pay back a little bit to see how can we bring the client's brand to a different level, but in a sense that you still have to keep kind of in mind very, very clearly about their budget, restraint, sometimes, like constraint on sites and all the stuff. Everything had to be in one. I think another bigger challenge for me is learn how to manage people. It's important. I'm very, very lucky. All my staff are amazing kind of people, amazing designers. We work very well together as a team. I really enjoy each other's company, and then I think most importantly, we are proud of what we do every day.
So how would you describe Elvin Tan Architects? Like, what do you guys specialize in?
Oh, specialize in...
Like, what's your perfect ideal job?
I think for me, it's definitely more towards hospitality and retail. We love doing big, small scale. We work on bigger projects. Like, we're starting to get hotel project, which is good. But we even work small project as big as 20 square meters. I think it's about aligning the right client, you know, like clients that have good visions. This is what we like. We like clients that have good visions and enjoy, you know, to get push boundaries a little bit and all the stuff, you know. Yeah, I think sometimes clients come in, they have really big dreams. They have, you know, but our job is to how to rein them in a little bit. I think to kind of secure all the ideas into one and kind of deliver it end product which they are really proud of. Yeah.
Right. And do you mostly work for retailers?
Yes, shopping malls too. I'm starting to do a bit more landlord works. Yeah, do a lot for vicinities. Do a couple kind of ambience upgrade here and there, which is good. Yeah.
Biggest mistake you've made since you started your business?
Ooh, I would say. Good question. I would say biggest mistake. I would say not being confident enough in the beginning. But you know, I think it's a part of growth, I suppose. But I think design, there's value that we put forward as a service. I think we just need to be confident what we can deliver, and then that's what I think. Yeah.
What was it that gave you the confidence when you started your business? Once you already started your business?
Yeah, I mean, like, you started to get recognized, I suppose. I mean, like all the shopping malls start to kind of approach us to give us kind of referral clients. I think that kind of starting steadily build your confidence, you know.
The landlords are referring clients?
Yeah, yes.
Wow,
yes,
that's
it's pretty good. I mean, like, you know you're doing something right. I think, you know, for us it's very important, word of mouth. I think when you get lots of returning clients, that's what you know that you're doing something right.
Yeah.
I think for us, you know, again, I always remind my team, we are service-based. It's very hard to see the product until it's built. I think that's why we need to give 110% in the beginning, so that you kind of, you know, like, for us, I always kind of say to them, like, whoever client is or landlord, they spend shitload of money in doing something, you know, that maybe their whole investment, their whole life, their savings. I think this is how do we kind of hold the hand to kind of tell them it's okay, to how do we reach to the end and give them something they never expect, even, you know, it's even better than what they expected. So
what was the best idea you've ever had?
Wow, it's interesting. It's gonna be a hard one.
The one that you're most proud of?
Not project particularly, I suppose, but I think sometimes we work on, it's like very hard, like it's like choosing your own favorite child. But but I think what I would say that I know. For me, I think we for example, one project we have worked in the city, which is about 30 square meter. It's a Asian kind of dessert place. You know, it's amazing how small a space. It used to be a really, really small and old cafe that can only fit like maybe 5 sitting. We managed to totally transform the space to be sitting of about 15, and then there are queues at night. You know, like,
where is that?
It's on Hardway Street. Yeah, it's called Nimble. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you designed that. That's great.
Yeah, I really like that one. I think clients are really good. Yeah, quite successful. The client, which they do a good job though. I mean, their food is amazing. I think our job is to how to bring them to here. Yeah, when you go on the site, it's pretty amazing to see what it was before than what it is now today.
So how many projects did you design last year?
Wow. Yeah, we actually talked about this last week with my team. Last year itself, project, we always count project from January to December, the last day. I think last year itself, project coming into the office, I think we got about 64
projects?
Yes, last year itself. But yeah, not every project was finished, but some of them kind of bigger ones kind of bleed to this year. But you know,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's coming in about 64, yeah.
How do you get a new project, comes to your desk, what's your first point of call? Like, run us through the process of how you assess it and where you go to from there.
I think for us, briefing is a must. I think get a good briefing session with the client.
In person?
Yes, I would much prefer in person. I mean, like, if the client's not here, like in Melbourne, it's a bit harder, I think, but if they are in Victoria, I would always encourage them to meet in person. If they site, even better. I mean, we can go chat, you know, throw ideas. I think that way you can gauge what the client really wants. I think, like we talked about before, that all clients come with very big ideas. I think sometimes they don't see the other potential route they can take to achieve that even better. I think briefing is, we always have lists of questions, clients, like, you know, what kind of style do you like? Like, my ultimate question to the client always is this. I always say to them, do you have any shops or design that you like? I just need one photo. Doesn't need to be 10 photos. If you have 10 photos, great. But I think I just need 1 photos, I think, so that we can see kind of the direction, the vision they wanted. Obviously, we're not going to copy that photo, but I think that kind of set the tone of the whole thing. That's why it will kind of drive the whole process. Then the efficiency is there. I think like for us, like if we do hospitality project, I always say client, I will not start any project until you get a full equipment list. Because I think, yeah, that way, you know, they will think about the design a little bit while they are picking the equipment. Then for us, how do we kind of take that one in and give it in? But we always get a question from them. It's like, I don't know how much I can fit. I always say to them, it's very easy. Just give me a wish list. What you want to fit, we will tell you whether it fits or not. If it doesn't fit in, there's a lot. It's a very organic process. Design. It's just a lot of back and forth, but we eventually will get there. So,
what's the biggest challenge you're seeing now with any new project this year in 2024?
I reckon it's definitely budget. Everyone's talking about budget, I suppose. I think.
And that wasn't the case in 2018 and 19?
It's not. It's still, but it's not today. Now, I think majority of my clients first phone call, they were like, the first thing they will say to me is like, I have quite limited budget, which is understandable. And then we talked about just now that, you know, it's their savings. I understand. I always tell to any of my team members is we're here to help them to design, but sometimes we just have to be considerate in the sense that it's not our money. You know, if someone's spending that much money to build something, is how do we use that budget as a guide to kind of design something. But obviously, you don't want to, because of that, you restrain yourself for being restrictive of what you design, I suppose. Just, you know, but sometimes funny things, smaller budget projects sometimes get the best outcome because you have to really think outside the box a little bit too, yeah.
Your favorite restaurant in Melbourne?
Ooh, I'm sucker for really, really good, authentic, comfort, honest food. So I found a new restaurant that opened not too long ago, a Malaysian restaurant. I love Malaysian food, obviously, because I grew up in Malaysia. On Russell Street. It's called Hall Kitchen. Yeah, for me.
Did you design that kitchen too?
No. But you know, but it's my.
So you just go there as a customer, not as
perfect. I reckon since they opened, I've been there about 20 times. So yeah, they're really good. I mean, just simple food. I think that's what we need. I think.
Yeah. Where is hospitality going? I know you designed the restaurants, but where do you think the hospitality is going? What cuisines, what price points do you see coming in the next 12 to 18 months?
I think, like, I try to travel around the end of the year. This is the only time I can go. But every time I travel overseas, like, not say Asia itself, like maybe Europe or whatever it is, I feel like Melbourne is doing really well in terms of hospitality kind of mix. You pretty much get 90% close to what it is overseas, I think. You know, I think sometimes you go to Europe itself, you know, it's hard to even find a good Asian place. You know, it is there, but it's not. Like here, there's everything, like Mexican, Asian, Indians, or, you know, European food, everything you can find is here. I think there's still a lot of market for that. I think, you know, sadly, COVID have kind of reshuffled everything, I suppose. I think, talking about COVID, I think the city is recovering now, which is good. Thank you for people like you to bring it back to life. I think
people like you for also
thank you.
Bring it back to life.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think we always say that in COVID, it's it's a very it's kind of traumatic for everyone. But I think it does, for me, there's a kind of winners and losers in this whole thing. I think reshuffle the whole thing. I think give people new opportunity to start new things, to bring things back. I think, yeah, nowadays you go to the city, you know, maybe talk about like when I first graduated here, in the city at night, 5, 6 o'clock, it's kind of dead in Melbourne, really. I think now you go at 10 o'clock, Elizabeth Street, it's like bustling and everyone there. So, yeah.
So there's a big switch now from gas kitchens to electric kitchens.
Yes.
Which is being legislated, I believe, across Victoria. How are you designing kitchens accordingly, or are you seeing any changes from your clients to react to that?
This is kind of a conversation we had very recently. I mean, like a couple months ago, we talked about this. I think lots of clients, I think it's more of a cultural shift, I suppose. I think a lot of Asian clients is a particular. They, you know, gas is the main, you know, like Asian cooking when they have those big woks and stuff, those burnt out smell, they really like that kind of, you know, it's a part of the cuisine. I think lots of them, I think shopping mall are trying to figure out how do we go forward, because you know, we talk about a couple of new development happening at the moment. They are trying to totally eliminate gas. what I heard from the kind of more leasing part of things, it's hard to get Asian clients in the space because for them, they just can't process how to actually they go forward without gas, I suppose. But I think it's more education. In the long run, it'll be a good thing. Definitely be a good thing.
But it is, that's a change is here to stay.
Yeah. It's not, you can't avoid that change. That's the
So
thing.
you just have to find a way
just
around
have to find
it.
a way. I mean, technology sooner or later will catch up. I
Yeah.
think someone will invent something, some clever person will invent something to replace kind of that same effect of what gas will cooking do, I suppose. But I think it's about more education, more time. I think even the government may be shopping more itself instead of, for me, this is what my opinion is, for me, instead of totally cutting gas, maybe it's try to limit it. It's a more kind of subtle transition rather than it being just like from 100 to 0, I suppose. Yeah.
And are you designing kitchens differently for electric ovens and stoves
No,
as
it's
opposed
more
to
about
gas?
it's more about the spec really. So not
It's just equipment changes.
yeah, it's equipment changes. I think it's not layout. It's going to be the workflow is going to be the same anyway.
So you live and breathe Melbourne CBD retail, and particularly F&B. Are there too many restaurants and cafes in the Melbourne CBD?
No, I don't think it is. I think there's still. I think they need to be more mixed, I suppose. I think need
More
to be
variety?
More variety, I suppose. I think some space a bit more prominent with certain cuisine, I suppose. But I think more mixed. But Melbourne, we thrive with our hospitality, nightlife, and eating scene and lots of good food. So I think definitely more the better. I think it's starting to bleed towards more suburbs, I suppose. Not
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what cuisine do you see popping next?
Interesting. Lots of Asian at the moment.
But Asian is a very broad word.
Yeah.
Which specific? Is it Vietnamese? Is it yum cha, hot pot, sushi, Japanese, Thai?
I suppose I think I always find that it's very highly dependent on the uni students.
Really?
Especially in the city, I suppose. Like even some small places like smell they sell really, really specific kind of noodles or whatever it is that come from a certain hometown. Every student will flock towards that because it's kind of a bit comfort food for them. Yeah. So.
And basement and level 1 restaurants, you seeing more of that pop up in the city?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. I think in a city, although there's a lot of kind of vacancies, I suppose, but a lot of bigger sites are being taken for. I think now it's time to kind of start to go up or go down a little bit. I think what. If it's good food, no matter where you are, people will find you. It's part of the charm, I suppose.
How are you managing costs on projects this year?
It's a very good question. For us, I always say to the client, what we do in the beginning is that we always try to say, give us a budget, what you think is right, realistic one, I suppose, because sometimes the client come a budget, we're like, wow, this is impossible. But give a realistic budget. We'll try our best to work around that, I suppose. But I think for me, again, budget is a thing, but you don't want to use budget to restrict you from what you can do. I would say to the client, let us sell you the dream first. What we think is, you can achieve with that budget. But which obviously with the budget in mind, we clearly kind of think about it all the time. But once the drawing is out to builder, you'll be surprised. I mean, in this industry for so long, you send to 3 different builders the same set of drawing, the price comeback is totally, can be 50 grand difference, 100 grand difference. It's hard because I think everyone's margin is very different. So I think, so we always say, keep the budget in mind, but sell the dream for them. And then I think as a designer, our job as part of service is that we have to be very flexible. If the client say I need to chop 30 grand to meet where I need to, we just have to be, all right, what can we change? Maybe from a timber veneer to a laminate timber, changing a real marble to a porcelain tile. I think things like that. As long as the overall intent is being delivered, I think,
So you're very active on social media. Very active on social media. How do you manage all that? What's your strategy?
It's really a business secret, but anyway. No, I'm just joking. But
If it's a secret, it's not going to be a secret after
No,
this, hopefully.
No, it's okay. For me, it's just need to be engaging. Like Instagram itself help us a lot. I mean, in LinkedIn too. Instagram, I think, just have to be. I think social media nowadays is very visual. I think you just have to, but I would say don't you don't feel like you don't overwhelm your audience with posts every day, I suppose, you know, once or twice a week, but in a very good, very careful what photo you send, you present. I think main thing too, we love, if you follow us on Instagram, I think we do a lot of our progress kind of stories, I suppose. I think for me, you know, it's a small design firm, I always encourage my team to celebrate every small win or losses. I think it's very important. It's kind of good for morale too. You know, for them, anyone at fresh grad, if they see on site, they post something that, you know, like a counter being made, you know, it's that excitement that you're doing something. But even for the client, I think they appreciate that because you feel, you know, they're proud of you feel proud of your work, which is their project. I think.
I always find your posts are very clear back to your business and what you do.
Yes.
You don't post about planting.
No.
You post very specific
Yes.
about kitchens, about retail. And
Yeah, that's important. I think this is more engaging. I think it's just people like that kind of, you know, I think something that's more, yeah, engaging and nice. And then, you know, like, you know, I think sometimes it's kind of good to kind of show that process from, it's not like we just sit there overnight, then it become a restaurant. There's a lot of kind of process to it. I think why we post quite a lot to it, because I'm a strong believer for credits. You know, if a good builder is in the project, they should be credited. Shopping mall, whoever retailer, the design manager is in it should be credited, because it always takes a whole team to make something happen. I think, yeah.
that's a nice way of looking at it. You're 36 years old.
Yes.
And you've had your business now for 7 or 8 years, 15 staff, 60 plus projects a year. What's next?
I think I will stop at the moment at 15, like to see, you know, I think just so that 15 is maybe a magic number for me. I just want to see, to target bigger projects, I suppose, you know, bigger, yeah, which we are trying to get now. I think like we are working on a food hall master planning refurbishment in a hotel in Sydney, which is amazing. I mean, it's a huge project. Just signed a project, a hotel lobby refurb in Kuala Lumpur and KL, which is, yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, like just kind of bigger projects, I suppose, but smaller projects we really like. I think those fast turnaround is kind of that kind of really, how to say, you get really enthusiastic, it's fast, and then you just really fast paced is what we enjoy, I think.
Where do you get most of your ideas from?
Everything. I think, you know, daily life, I love, you know, like sometimes after meeting, I love to walk around the city just to kind of see what other designers are doing, I suppose, you know, get inspired. Travel is very important for me. I try my best to at least travel once a year, which is end of the year. There's the only time I can travel. I think just going overseas to see, you know, like I think I was in Korea beginning of this year, like January, and just to see what they have done with shopping malls there or retail. It's a different level. Like then I transit, before I got back to Melbourne, I transit in Bangkok. The shopping mall there is like on steroids. I think that's kind of, I reckon that's where Melbourne is still growing, I suppose, in that sense, but there's a lot of growth still, but I think it's kind of heading that direction, I suppose, yeah.
More population. So you see all the ideas raw coming from business owners. What's your prediction?
Oh.
The retail landscape here in the CBD.
Also, I think nowadays it's more like lots of, you know, like own technology is very important, I suppose, nowadays.
You see robotic restaurants coming?
I personally actually don't like that, because I just feel like there's no personal touch to it. I actually like someone going to a restaurant, someone that greets you, sit you down, and, you know, take your order. Actually, it's really that kind of human touch, I suppose, is important. I think, but, you know, technology, again, you can't deny how fast technology will happen. I think nowadays, you know, ordering systems and all the stuff will still, yeah. But I'm a person that like to sit in a restaurant to eat, suppose, yeah.
With people around.
Yeah, suppose, yeah.
Cool. My last question. Every time I meet you, you're wearing different color sneakers.
There you go.
Today you got
We
got mini green.
Yeah.
Today.
Yes.
Those are our first one.
I know.
What's behind? What? How do you choose your color sneakers for the day?
Ooh, I have
You look at Kelly. This is a green day, or this is a red day.
just whatever. When I open my shoe cabinet, I feel I just have to.
Shoe cupboard.
Yeah, I have a shoe cupboard at home.
Cupboard of
Yeah,
shoes.
pretty much.
How many you got there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even dare to say it. But you know, I'm obsessed with shoes. I love colorful shoes. I love color myself.
Favorite
Yeah.
brand?
Oh, really? Anything. I've done. Yeah, for me, It's more about the color than the shoes, the brand. Really, I think for me, I love colors. As you can see in my website, with lots of colorful projects. I think we're not afraid of color, but I think, yeah, somehow weirdly, I love wearing colorful shoes. It's somehow become my signature in that sense. Yeah, I remember walking past a meeting one time on site. The whole meeting room was kind of frosted, but below you can see. Actually, I walked past the project manager opened the door. Elvin, here. So they actually saw my shoe that's me. So it's quite entertaining too. Yeah.
Yeah.